Trading Nut, episode 128.
Risk management. I'll preach this to the forever. I'll preach this forever. Risk management is going to be key when it comes to trading. If you don't know how to manage your risk, you will not make it in trading. I promise you that.
The market's going to do something. Your job is not to fight it.
The market never, ever runs away. It's always there.
That personal diary of trading will make you a much better trader than...
I could be right about the direction, but wrong about the trade.
Don't focus on the monetary side.
Trying to make too much money on a trade is what I have seen killed every trader.
Your losses offer you some of the greatest insight you can find into your mistakes.
Relax, learn the process.
Candlestick pattern trading is a freaking trap.
Don't be in a rush to become a millionaire.
Let the market tell you what the market wants to tell you.
This podcast is not financial, trading, or investing advice of any kind. What's up, traders? Welcome to another installment of the Trading Nut podcast. I'm your host, Cam Hawkins, and today we've got Tay Evans on the show, who's a young Forex and stock options trader from the US who trades with key levels and zones. You're going to get to see a video we shot after this interview as well, where he walks through his full-on trade entry setup. So, guys, you've got to go and check that out after the interview. You hear how he went from an Uber Eats driver to a full-time trader. It's an amazing story. Right. Look, if you're thinking, Cab, why are you sounding a bit funny? Well, I am sounding quite nasally. I did get kicked in the face on Saturday when I was playing football, slid in for a tackle in the last 30 seconds of the game, missed everything. It was a muddy day, and the other opponent managed to walk over my face. Well, in fact, he just kicked me straight in the nose as I was lying on the ground. So a bit nasally here. I'm going to be getting a black eye, I think, in a couple of days, so I'll shoot this now before I do. Right, guys, what else have we got going on here at Trading Nut? Now, look, I have added stuff to my daily routine, which, if you get the chance, I do recommend this. And I put it off for years, and I finally decided to bite the bullet and do it, which is doing yoga every day, but not just doing it at home, which I always struggle with. I'm doing it in a yoga studio. So I've signed up for a yoga studio, and it's actually pretty reasonable. The cost is it's less than $20 a week, and you get, you could go to 6 or 7 or 10 classes if you really wanted to. So, guys, if you are getting a bit older, need to be stretching out your body a bit, need to be reducing stress, then I do recommend it. I've gone to 2 sessions so far, and I loved it, absolutely loved it. So, guys, that's what I've added to my routine. Recommend adding it if you're stressed out, or if you're feeling stiff, or if your core's weak. Please, I do recommend checking out yoga. Now, what else do I want to tell you before we jump into the show? I've been thinking really hard about scalper versus scalper, and I'm keen to do it, and I'm going to do it in a way that brings the scalper versus scalper to life in even more than what we did last time. So last time it was an awesome week competition. I want to step things up a level. So I've got some ideas. If you are keen to take part in it, please hit me up in the contact area on Trading Nut, Instagram, whatever it is. I will add a list of you guys, or you can just fill in the form on Trading Nut, the live streams page, and we'll see if we can get you on the show. Okay. Last but not least, I have released a number of videos last week. One of which was a recent robot that I built, and the strategy behind it, which only uses the Bollinger Bands and price action. So, guys, if you want to go and check that out and see how this robot basically trades for you and learn the strategy that I've created, it's historically worked well on Euro US dollar, and gold was okay. So we've got that running on a live account on Hanko Trade. So if you guys want to go and check that out, then that video's over there. If you don't want to learn how to build these robots like I'm doing at the moment and showing you what the end result is, then I've got my Robot Builders Club still open. The doors are going to close at some point this year. Okay, so guys, this is the time to come on board if you do want to learn how to build these trading robots without developers, without any code, and as quickly as you can possibly do them. All right, guys, without further ado, let's get on with the show today with Tay. Hey folks, my sponsor City Traders Imperium have let me know that they're about to launch their new funding program 2.0, and they're keeping all the details secret until they announce the new rules to the entire funded trader community live on YouTube on Sunday 27th of June. Now make sure you join the live, because you're going to learn how to pass the evaluation with their new rules, plus you'll have a chance to win spot prizes just for attending the live. To register, simply click the link below the video or in the card above. All right, folks, here we are on Trading Up. We've got Tay Evans here in the house, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, a 23-year-old Forex and stock options trader. So welcome to the show, Tay.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Look, it's great to have you on board. Look, now I've heard your story, but I think the guys are going to find it fascinating because it is quite different from a lot of the other stories out there. And well, let's get underway. How did it all start for you?
So it all started. I was in college. I never was the type to. So I had a job, right? But when I went to college, I wasn't working. So I started affiliate marketing. I don't know if you guys are familiar with affiliate marketing, but I ended up coming across affiliate marketing because I was searching ways to make money from your phone. How can I make money from my phone, from my laptop, sitting in my own room, right? So I ended up coming across affiliate marketing. But while I was doing that, I would see a lot of people showing screenshots of them making money from their phone through some app, right? And every time they would message me, they would say, if you join us, we'll teach you how to make money from your phone. And basically what that was IML Academy, right? We all know IML Academy if you trade Forex. So that basically was that. So I'm like, maybe this would be interesting. But they was charging like $300 just to join IML Academy. So that I was instantly turned off by it because I'm trying to make money. I didn't want to lose money for paying for something, right? So ended up saying no to that. So I stopped that. So happened I got kicked from college. Grades were falling because I'm trying to make money. So I wasn't focused on my work. So had to sit out of college for a couple semesters. And that's when a relative of mine married this millionaire trader, this guy who trades for full time. He does it and he's a millionaire. So I'm like, millionaire, what does he do? So I talked to him one day and he was like, he trades. He's a day trader. And what he does is he trades options, right? So this instantly struck me because, options, day trading, Forex, you can make money from your phone. So he had some courses and books that he recommended for me to read. So I ended up reading those, right? And like once I seen him making a lot of money like that, I mean, I just got hooked to it because he didn't charge me for the courses or the books. But when he gave it to me, I mean, I read those books. It took me like a week, right? So when I was sitting out of school, I was doing like Uber Eats, right? I was doing Uber Eats, and I would be literally reading those books while I'm doing Uber Eats. So I was that determined to learn trading, right? So a couple of months, started trading, put some money into it, lost a lot of money. My first couple of months, lost a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money. So worked again, built my income back up, and then I seen Forex trading. So I had a cousin that was in IML, right? And basically that's how I learned from the Forex market, the currency market. So I was studying the stock market and the Forex market all at the same time. So a couple of months go by, I'm trading Forex, I'm trading stocks. I learned, the basics to Forex, basically technical analysis on Forex. And I also applied that to day trading, day trading stocks and options. So fast forward, I'm getting better at trading. And once I found out that the key to trading was risk management. If you don't know how to manage your risk on every single trade, you would not make it with trading at all. I mean, and this is very important, guys. I promise. If you don't manage your risk with trading, there's no way that you will actually grow your accounts, right? So I learned risk management. That was very important, and I applied that to stocks and Forex. So I grew for like a year and a half passed, and I got very comfortable I quit my job. And I dove right into trading. Like, this has to work. If it doesn't work, I got to make some more money, jump back into trading. So from there on, it was like, what year was it? I want to say 2017. I think it was like 2017. I was actually on my way to my job. I had got a job at Lowe's. So I got up on the way to work. I drove 10 minutes down the road, and I was like, you know what? It's not for me. So I quit my job. I was on the way to my job, so I quit my job, turned back around, went back home. And ever since then, trading has been my primary source of income. I learned from my mistakes. I learned a lot, like risk management, manage your risk, trade accordingly, don't overtrade, and you can make money. I mean, most people say trading isn't easy. Most people say that. But when you actually learn, I promise, it's like it's easy. So
awesome.
It's like a backstory of mine.
Cool. Hey, just jumping in here with a message from my sponsor, Sage Strategies. Do you want to trade gold and crypto like the institutions? Well, now you can, and it's free for 14 days with Sage Strategies, fully automated trading strategies. Check out their live track records for 25 unique strategies, plus they'll host everything for you, which is perfect for beginners and advanced traders or investors. Simply sign up for the 14-day free trial at sagestrategies.io and experience it for yourself. And so, can you tell us a bit about these courses that this guy shared with you?
So basically, he made himself. Guys he made himself. And they're basic guys, teaching you candlestick patterns, structure patterns, flags, breakouts, those type of patterns. So it was like a basic type of guide, but it broke down candlesticks and all type of patterns. So that's basically what it was, like a technical analysis type of guide and course. So yeah, I mean, that's basically what his guides and courses was. It was just basic trading techniques.
Okay, and do you still see this guy? Is he like has he?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and what does he say to you now these days? Like now that you're doing this full time, and when you catch up with him. Are you guys trading talk? Everyone else is like going, what the hell are these guys talking about?
Trading is like, so we see each other a lot. Like I said, my cousin married him. So now it's like, we talk stocks, but it's like we do it so much. It's not, it's not the center of the topic when we do see each other. But when we do, we trade every single day, every single morning. And I trade at night, of course, because I trade Forex as well. But when we see each other, we still, we trade together when we're around each other. But he started me off, and I appreciate that, because this is a passion of mine. Like when I first started, it became a passion, and that's why I believe I'm still doing it to this day, because even through the losses, I took a lot of losses, money that I really didn't have. I took a lot of losses, but I was so determined to win. It came together, and it's like, it was a blessing.
And did he give you any sort of mentoring or help you through those losses?
So he's the type of guy that he gave me the material, but he's not the type of that's going to pick you up and pat you on the back and say it's all right. Nah, it was trial and error. So if I made a mistake, I had to learn from my mistake. He started me off, but it wasn't like he was gonna mold me into what he wanted me to be. I had to learn as a man. So he's the type of person that would tell you have to make your own, decisions. If you make crazy mistakes trading, you have to learn from them.
So really, this guy he opened the door for you, gave you a little bit of. I mean, do you think what he shared with you in those courses that he did share with you? Do you think that's available to everyone else if they looked hard enough on YouTube? Oh yeah, most definitely. I mean, if you want to learn candlesticks, some books he did provide us with were the For Dummy series. Those are some books that I actually read as well. So the guide he has, it's just basic. It's basic. So I didn't know anything, so I was head first, and I studied it so hard because I didn't know anything. So that's how I learned candlesticks, patterns, terminology, all of those things. And do you have a preference over stocks or Forex?
It's crazy because they're like this to me. Forex has its perks and stock options has its perks. So I can't even really say which one I love the best because both they have their perks. So it's like a neck and neck type of thing.
And if you had to say what the perks were, what were they? What are the perks?
So with stock options, I'll do stock options first. So with stock options, a lot of people say it's risky because they're misinformed about stock options. But stock options is the same way as any other type of trader. So with the perks with stock options is whatever you risk, that's the most you can lose. You can't blow an account unless you risk your entire account, right? So you don't have to worry about setting stop losses, but you can set stop losses. But if I buy a stock option is a contract, it's a contract of a stock. So let's say if Apple had a contract for $100, right? I would buy that contract for $100 and a couple of minutes later, that contract, depending on how Apple does on that time, in that time frame, that $100 contract could possibly go up 200%, 300%, 30%. Right? It really always depends on the setups, but you can make a lot of money real fast. As to Forex, I would say Forex, there's no limitation when it comes to day trading. With MetaTrader, you can literally take as many trades as you want until you blow your account. So with stocks, so I use Thinkorswim. You familiar with Thinkorswim,
Yeah.
TD Ameritrade?
Yeah.
So I use that for stocks. I use TD Ameritrade, Thinkorswim platform for stocks. But you do have something with some people heard of the PDT rule, but you can't take a lot of trades in one day. Let's say if I had a $1,000 account with TD Ameritrade, I'll only be able to make, let's say if I took 10 $100 trades, I'll only be able to make 10 of those until my buying power is out for the day. But the next day, I can still use that money the same way. With Forex, you can place however many trades you want. You're either gonna blow your account or you're gonna double your account, triple your account. But there's no day trading limitations with Forex. So that's a perk why I love Forex. And Forex, the strategy that you can use with Forex, you can apply it with stocks as well. It's the same. If you know how to read a chart, it's almost the same. And the strategy that I use them with both because the type of strategy that I use, it's how markets move, simply.
Cool. And you mentioned risk management is like sort of the holy grail to what you found. I mean, do you want to describe that in detail as like what was the key thing for you around risk management that really hit home?
So risk management, I'll preach this to the forever. I'll preach this forever. Risk management is going to be key when it comes to trading. If you don't know how to manage your risk, you will not make it in trading. I promise you that. And why I say this because a lot of people complain when they lose money, but the psychological part of trading is very real, right? So let me give you an example. If you're over leveraged in the trade, let's say, I'll actually give you an example of a real life scenario that happened to me when I was trading stock options one day. One day I decided to risk my entire account trading. I risked my entire account. Like I literally risked my entire account, right? But it was my best day trading ever. This was one of my best days that I had ever traded. So I was up 50% that day of the account, but I was risking my entire account each trade. So I was up 50%. So I decided to jump back into a trade, try to make a little bit more money, just a little bit more. So somehow Trump tweeted. He sent out a tweet and the stock ended up going high. So it was like good news. I was betting that the stock was going down. I had puts, basically sales that, the stock would go down. And when it happened so fast that my account went from up 50% to now I basically just blew my entire account, right? So I was very over leveraged, right? Now I ended up closing that trade, basically account blown. And a couple of minutes later, when I closed the trade, this price actually came back to my entry point. So I could have broke even on the trade, but I was so over leveraged that it affected my mind, right? And I was like, man, what did I just do? I didn't have a choice but to close because I didn't want to go to zero. So I was like literally like 10% left in the account. So I was like, man, I'm just gonna close this trade. I shouldn't have done that, and it affected my psychological. So when you overtrade, it can affect your mind. If you're over leveraged in a position, you might think it's going to go against you. Let's say if you go in drawdown, if you're over leveraged, it's going to be too much drawdown that that your mind can withstand, right? And you might close the trade for a loss, and a couple minutes later, it probably was a winning trade, but you were so over leveraged that your mind couldn't handle it, and you closed the trade for a loss. So risk management is very important. If you don't have a great reward compared to your risk, it's not going to work. It's simply just not going to work.
So for you, was it more having a higher risk to reward ratio, or was it
yes, any trade
risking the same amount every trade from an account percentage, or what was it?
Oh, I created actually with my stock options type of trading. I created my own type of risk to reward type of plan. I can't pull it up, but I'll just try to think of it. So with my option trade, I never risk more than 10% per trade. I know you can use less than that, but this is with my stock options trade. I never risk more than 10% of the account, right? So let's say if I had a $10,000 account, my max risk is going to be $1,000 per trade, right? Now, I'm a day trader. I mainly day trade. So with day traders, you have to know when to take profit, and you have to know when to cut your loss. So my win percent is going to be higher than my losing percent. So I have a plan, but it's like a lot, and I don't want to.
You don't go into it. Okay, cool.
Yeah. I could. It's up to you.
Well, we might be able to do it as a little video after the show somewhere. So let's jump into your trading, like as it stands today. We've sort of talked about your risk to reward there. Let's just focus on Forex for now, because I know a lot of the listeners are Forex. Yeah. So, what type of time frames are you analyzing to get into your trade and your entry time frame?
So basically, just like any trader, when I pull up charts, first thing I'm going to do is go to a higher time frame, daily or weekly. I'm going to go to the daily or weekly charts, and the type of trade I do, I'm going to mark up my key levels. I mark my key levels first on the higher time frame, then I drop down a little, mark up my supply and demand zones. I trade supply and demand. If you know how to use supply and demand, it makes so much sense, and the strategy is almost top tier. So I start from the higher time frames, but as a day trader, I'm looking at, the 5 and 15 minute charts, but I'm looking at key levels in the market. So every day is going to be different. I have my sessions, my session breaks between each day. And like when I pull up charts, each day is going to be different, and you have to know your levels to be able to base your trades around.
Okay, cool. And if you're taking sort of trades on Forex in particular, what's your winning percentage on those?
So my winning percentage on Forex is, I would say, easily 8 out of 10. Easily 8 out of 10, because I trade the same way every single time. I wait for confirmations. If my confirmation is there, I'm going to take the trade. Nothing is 100%. So if I said 100%, that'll be a lie. If anyone says 100%, that'll be a lie. But I'll say easily 8 out of 10, because I trade the same way every single day. And the way I trade, I wait for confirmation. I'm a confirmation type of trader. You need multiple confluences. You need confirmations to be able to base trades around. And it's important to know direction. If you don't know direction, you'll be taking crazy trades. And especially if you don't use confirmation, then that's not a good plan. I'm a plan type of trader. If you're trading without a plan, you're basically gambling.
And what's your risk to reward on those Forex trades?
So my Forex trades, if it's not 2-to-1 or higher, I'm not taking a trade. I never take a 1-to-1. It has to be 2-to-1 or higher. Always.
And how many instruments are you analyzing? How many charts?
So I trade GJ, NAS 100, SPX 500, and golds.
Okay. So
but it can be applied with a lot of other instruments, because I have traded almost every instrument. But like I said, I'm more of a day trader, so I wanna take those pairs that has the most volatility, And with SPX and NAS 100, those are basically QQQ and the SPY for the stock market, right? So the same scenario that I can use with my stock market, I can trade it with my Forex account.
And so the stock market, what instruments are you trading in the stock market?
So I trade tech stocks, all the big tech stocks, SPY, the Qs, which is SPX 500, NAS 100, Apple, Tesla, BA, all like a lot of tech stocks. Those high quality tech stocks. Yeah.
And how many trades are you taking per day?
So with my stock, I never take more than 3 trades a day. Never. Not even on a great day, because over trading, you're not gonna grow if you're over trading, right? I can almost hit my daily goal in 2 trades. Sometimes in 1 trade, just all depends on the setup, how, and if I leave runners. But I never take more than 3 trades, because if you're taking that many trades, you're basically over trading, in my opinion, because I've taken a lot of trades before. That was something I had to deal with in the beginning. I thought you can make money 24/7 if you have a good strategy, but over trading, no sir, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Are you a market or a limit order trader?
I'm a market order trader.
Okay.
Because like I said, I'm day trading, right? And I want to get instant executions, right? I have to get instant executions. Once I see my entry, I have to get in right then and there and let the trade play out.
And what is your typical
I do trade as well?
Okay. And what does your typical trading day look like?
What do you mean by that?
So you talk about trading stocks during the day and Forex in the evening. How does that work? How do you set your day up from when you wake up?
So basically, I'm gonna start from the morning. So every morning I'm up 30 minutes before the stock market opens, right? So I'm up here. The stock market opens at 9:30. So I'm up. I need to be up at least 8:30 to 9 o'clock, right? To map out what I'm going to be trading for today, map out what the charts look like. I need to mark my levels, what happened while I was asleep. And that's going to give me my basis. So NAS 100, they're like the futures. Futures, NAS 100, SPX 500. I need to see where they're at, where their levels are, where supply and demand is, and what I can use and speculate as targets. So those futures are going to give me basically a rundown of what stocks are going to do, because stocks follow the futures. Those tech stocks, those are going to follow the direction of Qs, which is NAS 100, and SPY, which is SPX 500. So that's going to give me a basis of what trades I can look forward to for that day. I'm looking for news. I'm marking the charts, looking for news, marking my key levels on all of those stocks. And that's going to basically give me what I'm looking for during the day when the market opens. So when the stock market closes, of course, I'm going to take a break. Then, once we get later into the Asian session, when the London session starts to come, I'm going to be marking my charts, marking my levels, looking for, possible setups that I can give out to the group, and trade basically with GJ and gold. I used to trade almost every pair, but you don't want to just be trying to find stuff, 24/7. If your pairs is not showing you anything, just wait it out. Something will happen. It's all about waiting. Money comes to those who wait. You have to wait for your setups.
And so what time does your day typically end then?
Say it one more time.
What time does your day end? So
I'm asleep around I go to sleep every night and maybe at I would say 2 o'clock, around 2 something. London session is around, London session is 3 o'clock here. So I'm sleeping around 2 o'clock. because I basically have my levels that I'm watching for GJ and gold, so I can basically set a stop loss and set a take profit. That's where my risk to reward comes in, right? If I see a setup, I can already know that if the risk is here and then my reward is better, I can just set my take profit, set my stop loss, let the trade play out, wake up, either going to be a win, or a loss.
And so do you ever like manage trades, like moving your stop to break even or taking partial exits?
Oh, definitely. So if I'm on the charts, so I'll start with stocks. So if I'm trading my stocks, I always almost move my stop loss to break even if I get a fast move in profit, because you never want to let a green trade turn red. That's one of the craziest things you can do, is letting a stock that takes you in profit and letting it go red. That's like one of the dumbest things you can do. I've seen a lot of people do this because like I said, the psychological part of it is very real. You will think you will be in profit, but you will be expecting more profit. So you don't take your profit and you will let that trade go red. And now you're hoping that trade comes back to in profit. And sometimes it never does that. And you continue to lose money, and now you're stuck having to sell for a loss. So that's something I actually teach as well. Like, you have to set it to break even. Therefore, now it's a risk-free trade. And if you don't take profit and you like to leave runners, set it to break even. Now it's risk-free. And if it continues to go, then you can pick up, more profits. But always protect your risk. If you do not protect your risk, you will not make it in trading.
And so at what point do you move your stop to break even?
So I have a percent. As a day trader, we have a certain percent. It all depends on the market as well. But normally, if I've created like a first take profit, and I've created a second take profit when it comes to my stocks over here. I have a certain percent. So contracts move percent wise. So if I take $100 trade, let's say with Tesla, and I go up 25%, that's going to be like a second take profit. So my first take profit will be like 15%. Second take profit will be 25%, because day traders, they use percentages, and they're closing their trades once they make their percent. So if you can't manage a small account, you're not going to be able to manage a huge account. So I hit first take profit, I move my stock to break even. Now I'm going to close some of my position. And if I want to, I want to see how far it can go. If I have another target higher, I'm going to set it to break even, leave runners to target, a higher position.
And
higher profit.
So what about like these trades that you just mentioned before, where you just go, well, it's either going to hit take profit or hit stop loss?
Yeah.
I mean, in that case, how do you sort of manage that from a psychological point of view, and deciding that this is the one that I'm just not going to manage if it goes into profit?
So every trade I take, I know my risk, right? Any trade I take, I already know my risk. I know what I'm willing to risk on this trade. So when I'm trading Forex, I know my risk already. I know how many pips I'm risking. I know how many pips I'm trying to obtain, right? So I set my stop loss. I set my take profit. So if I wake up, let's say if I'm in a swing position and I wake up and it hasn't hit my take profit yet, but I am in profit, I'm not going to let it go red. I'm going to either move my stop loss a little bit more up, trail it up a little, or if I'm kind of like, if I'm looking at the charts and it's showing me some iffy type of price action, I'm probably going to just move to break even. If it comes down, it'll just stop me out at break even. But the goal is your goal is to have more wins than you have losses, because losses going to happen. But can you manage your losses and stack on your wins? You want to have bigger wins, smaller losses. You want to have more wins, less losses. So, yeah, go ahead.
So what do you think made you different at the start when you, obviously met this millionaire sort of relation of yours, but it sounds like he gave you the basic stuff which everyone out there can get hold of. What do you think made you different from a sort of more of a mentality point of view than what you see in your groups that you belong to? So in my mentality, I would say what would make me different is if I'm focused on it, I'm head first. I'm going to study every single thing I can possibly
I'm going to try every single thing I can possibly. And more, I'm going to do it with real money, right? I'm not even going to, I've used paper trading accounts, but everything I've learned from using real money. So I've lost a lot of money using real money, but as I've grown, I've made that back plus more. I'm one of those guys that even if I know everything in the world, I still want to learn more. I still want to try something new out, right? And I just feel like I can say I'm different from a lot of people, but I would literally like study my off to learn anything, right? And I mean, I'm just different. I'm just different.
Perseverance is probably the key thing with you. Now, what about other guys out there who may not be as persevering, retail traders that you've seen come through your groups? What steps would you say, here are the steps I recommend to take to get to a point where you start growing an account?
So first steps, I would say, educate yourself. Educate yourself first. If you want to make it in this business, educate yourself. Education is key. A lot of people don't like reading. A lot of people just want to dive in and make a lot of money, right? But treat this like a business. It's not a get-rich scheme. As you can see, a lot of people don't make it in this because they're uneducated. They want to make a lot of money. They don't want to understand the backstory of trading. So I would say educate yourself first, right? And once you educate yourself, you want to use risk management. I'm going to say risk management every single time, but educate yourself first. And once you do start trading, learn the risk management part of trading. You want to learn that. So once you learn that, learn your basics when it comes to charts. So that's what I would recommend to other people. Educate yourself first. No man can take an education away from you, because once you learn this skill, you're going to have it forever, and it can pay you forever.
And thinking about, like, I suppose you mentioned a price chart there. You're a supply and demand trader. What 3 things would you say, go away and study this on a chart? So I would tell them to go study key levels. I would tell them to study their key levels, right? Use their key levels as areas where you can play around. For me, I'm a day trader, but I'm also a swing trader, but I'm more of a day trader. So I would say learn your key levels, learn your supply and demand, learn why supply works, right? Why sell-offs happen is because an overrun of supply. Why do stocks pop a lot? It's because you have demand, right? It's simple. It's simple economics, supply and demand. Supply sells, demand buys. But you have to understand why it's happening and why it works. Now, do you have any special mindset sort of hacks or tricks that you could that you've stumbled across along the way that you can share with our listeners?
So any type of tricks? Any type of tricks, you say?
Any tricks or like hacks that can help somebody try and get their mind in a better state for trading? Okay. I'm gonna have to go with practice risk management, because it's psychological. It's psychological. You have to, if you don't practice risk management, knowing how to risk a small amount of money for a decent gain. If you don't train your mind to make the baby steps first, if you try to take a large step, you're gonna fall. Don't try to take a large step. Take baby steps first. Train your mind to be okay with taking, especially if you're starting small with small accounts. Train your mind to be okay with those 5% wins, right? Those 10% wins, those 3% wins. Train your mind to be okay with that, because those add up in the end, right? You're building yourself up to become a better trader. And once you take those small wins, once your capital starts to grow, those wins are going to be bigger. Okay, cool. Well, look, I'm going to jump into the quickfire round here. So this is where we've got a few questions to dive into some more detail here. How long did it take you to go from trading newbie to consistently profitable? So it took me around a year to a year and a half. That first year was rough, lost a lot of money, but I was still in that learning phase trying to get it right, because I learned the basics, but I had to learn myself from my mistakes. I had to learn from my mistakes in the market, just like any other trader. But, once I seen what I did, that taught me how to not make those mistakes, right? And over the course of those months,
I learned to not do this and this improve. I learned to not do this and this step, this part of trading improved for me. So once I improved those bad habits, the good habits start to stack my accounts up and grow, every single day, every single trade. And they start to, compile, and I became a better trader over those courses. And now I stick to what I know. I know what not to do, what to do. And once you learn that, I mean, it's go mode. It's go mode.
Domo. What's Domo? I haven't heard of that.
Oh, no. Go mode. Go mode.
What's Gomo?
It's a go. It's a go. You about to make your money.
Ah, right. Okay. All right. Yeah. So instead of FOMO, it's Gomo.
Yeah. Go mode. MODE.
Oh, right. Sorry. I thought it was like a FOMO, a new way to say FOMO. Right. What's your favorite entry setup?
My favorite entry setup, the double bottom inside demand or a double top inside supply. My favorite.
What strategies do you use to exit or manage trades?
Ask that one more time.
Strategies to exit or manage trades.
So you're going to want to look for a reversal. So if you're for me to exit a trade, I need to see rejection in any sort of reversal candle showing that I need to get out the trade.
What's your recommended trading book or resource?
Recommended trading book? I'm going to say go with, there's a lot of books out here. I read a lot, but I'm going to say go with the for Dummy series. I'm also going to say I got a book coming out, and I really recommend that one because it breaks everything down very simple.
Awesome. What's your preferred broker?
My preferred broker for stocks. I'm going to say TD Ameritrade's Thinkorswim platform. That's my favorite. There's a lot out there, but that's going to be my favorite. For Forex, I'm going to say it really depends on the type of trader you are, because certain brokers have different spreads. Like I said, I'm more of a day trader, so I need a broker with a tighter spread. And I'll say KOT Forex.
Hey, you ever wonder what broker I use? Well, I use Hanko Trade. It was a no-brainer because I was looking for a broker with good trading conditions and no restrictions on trading my strategies. But one of the main reasons was their raw ECN spread, which could challenge any other broker you're trading with. Learn more at hankotrade.com or click the link in the description. Do you want to walk us through your worst ever trade?
My worst ever trade. I believe the story I told you about when Donald Trump tweeted and I lost my entire account, I think that's going to be my worst trade because that was in my beginning stage. I had my best day ever, turned into my worst day ever.
Cool. And if you could leave our listeners with one piece of advice, what would it be?
So I would say manage risk, guys. Trade with risk management. That's going to be my number one every single time, because if you don't know, if you're a greedy trader, you're not going to make it in this market. You have to know how to manage the risk so that you can take more wins, less losses, bigger wins, small losses. Because, yeah.
Brilliant. Well, look, before we wrap up, what's the best way for traders to get hold of you?
You can check my YouTube out. It's DLE Trades, and my Instagram is also DLE Trades.
Awesome. Well, look, a big thank you to Tay for sharing with us today. Everything we discussed there, along with all those links, are in the show notes. To find them, simply search for Tay, T-A-Y, in the search box on tradingnut.com. Until next time, I wish all my listeners trading happiness and success. All right, guys, so there you have it. Interview with Tay Evans done and dusted. Do remember we shot a video after this where he walks through exactly how he draws up his zones and his key levels and shows you some of the trades that he's taken with these zones and key levels. Really interesting stuff over there on the Trading Nut YouTube channel. Whilst you're there, please do check out the other video I put up there where I show you through my Bollinger Band and price action trading robot that I built for my Robot Builders Club members. If you do want to join my Robot Builders Club and build these kind of robots yourself for whatever strategy you can dream up, either fully automated or semi-automated, no coding required, then I'm still taking members for the time being. So please head over there. You'll find links on tradingnut.com. You'll find links on YouTube. And I'd like to see some of you guys on board in the near future. All right, folks, until next time, I'll see you in the markets.